Hi, I'm Onyx. For 7 years, my life with Melissa felt like we were building something special together. Then came the Sunday dinner that changed everything. Onyx, can you pass the salt? Melissa asked, her voice unusually bright. She'd been exchanging meaningful glances with her best friend Naomi all evening. I slid the salt shaker across the table. Everything okay? You two have been exchanging secret looks all night? Naomi squeezed her husband Derek's hand. Should we tell them now? Derek nodded, his expression somber. Go ahead. We've been trying for a baby for 4 years, Naomi announced. We've done everything. Fertility treatments, specialists, even looked into adoption. I'm sorry, I said. That must be incredibly difficult. Melissa reached over to grab Naomi's other hand. But they found a solution. Something in her tone made my stomach tighten. The doctors say I can't carry to term, Naomi continued. But my eggs are viable. We just need a surrogate, Melissa finished, her eyes shining. And I've agreed to do it. The fork I was holding clattered against my plate. What? I'm going to carry their baby, Melissa said, as if announcing she'd agreed to water their plants. We've already talked to a clinic about the process. When exactly were you planning to discuss this with me? The words came out sharper than I intended. Derek looked down at his plate. I told Naomi you two should talk first, but this isn't really your decision, Onyx, Naomi cut in. It's Melissa's body. It's our marriage, I countered, turning to my wife. Melissa, this affects both of us. I know it's sudden, Melissa replied, reaching for my hand, which I pulled back, but Naomi would do the same for me. Would she? I looked at Derek. And you're okay with all this? Derek shrugged uncomfortably. It's not ideal, but we're desperate. We've been talking about it for months, Naomi added. Months? I stared at my wife. You've been planning this for months without saying a word to me? Melissa's expression hardened slightly. I knew you'd react like this. That's why I wanted to wait until we had everything figured out. Figured out? You can't figure out something like this without me. I stood up. This isn't like deciding to get a pet. This is bringing a life into the world. A life that will be ours, Naomi emphasized. Melissa is just helping us. Just helping? Do you hear yourselves? This is 9 months of pregnancy, doctor appointments, physical changes, all while we put our own family plans on hold. It's only a year, Melissa said quietly, and then everything goes back to normal. I looked at her, really looked at her. You've already made up your mind, haven't you? She didn't answer, which was answer enough. 2 days later, my brother Jake came over to help me process. So she just announced it right there at dinner? Jake asked, leaning forward. Like she was telling me she'd signed up for a book club. I ran a hand through my hair. The contract is already drawn up. She showed it to me last night. Have you talked to anyone else? What does Maya think? Maya was our mutual friend, usually the voice of reason. She came over yesterday, says Melissa has always been impulsive when it comes to Naomi. Impulsive is getting matching tattoos, Jake scoffed. This is next level. Maya told me something else too. I lowered my voice. Apparently Naomi and Derek have been having serious problems. She heard from Derek's sister that they nearly separated last year. Jake's eyebrows shot up. So they're having a baby to save their marriage and using your wife to do it? The door opened and Melissa walked in. You're talking about me. We're talking about this situation, I corrected. I need to do this, Melissa finally said, her voice quiet but firm. I've signed the paperwork. The first procedure is scheduled for next month. I hope you'll support me, but I'm doing this with or without your approval. As she walked out, Jake whispered, What are you going to do? I didn't have an answer then, but I would soon. The clinic waiting room was painted in soothing blues and greens. Melissa sat beside me, flipping through a parenting magazine while we waited for Dr. Bennett. You didn't have to come, she said without looking up. I wanted to hear directly from the doctor what this process entails. The past week had been a series of tense conversations and cold silences. Dr. Bennett's office was cluttered with medical journals and family photos. The doctor herself was a woman in her 50s with kind eyes behind stylish glasses. So, she began after introductions, you're considering being a gestational surrogate for friends. She's already decided, I corrected. I'm just here to understand the process. Dr. Bennett's eyes flickered between us. I see. Well, surrogacy is a complex emotional and physical journey, not just for the surrogate, but for her partner as well. That's what I've been trying to say, I muttered. Melissa shot me a look. I understand the risks, doctor. We've discussed them thoroughly. With Naomi and Derek, she added pointedly. But not with your husband, Dr. Bennett observed. Is it normal for a woman to agree to surrogacy without discussing it with her spouse first? I asked. Dr. Bennett set down her pen. In my experience, successful surrogacy arrangements involve full agreement from all parties, including spouses. We actually typically require counseling for— We don't need counseling, Melissa interrupted. This is a gift I'm giving to my best friend. With respect, Dr. Bennett said carefully, surrogacy is inherently complicated. There are physical risks, emotional challenges, not to mention the impact on your marriage. Our marriage is fine, Melissa insisted. I leaned forward. Doctor, what percentage of surrogates' marriages experience significant strain during this process? We don't have exact statistics, but it's substantial enough that we recommend ongoing couples counseling throughout. Melissa shifted uncomfortably. Naomi never mentioned that. Did Naomi mention that you'll need to abstain from sexual relations for periods during the process? Or that many surrogates experience complicated feelings about carrying a child that isn't their own? The silence that followed was deafening. Later that day, Maya met us at a quiet cafe. Her normally confident demeanor seemed subdued. So, I began, you told me Melissa has always been impulsive about Naomi, and then told her I'm being controlling. Care to explain? Maya fidgeted with her coffee cup. I was just trying to support you both. By telling us completely contradictory things? Melissa asked. Look, Maya sighed. You're both right and both wrong. Melissa, you are impulsive when it comes to Naomi. And Onyx, you do get controlling when you feel blindsided. There's something else you should know, Maya added, lowering her voice. Derek confided in my husband last month. He's not entirely on board with this surrogacy either. What? Melissa looked shocked. He feels pressured by Naomi, just like Onyx feels pressured by you. He's worried about their marriage surviving this. But he agreed to it, Melissa protested. Did he? I asked. Or did Naomi make the decision and expect him to fall in line? Sound familiar? There's more, Maya admitted. They've been in counseling for the past year. Their marriage nearly ended after Derek's emotional affair with a coworker. Melissa's face paled. Emotional affair? Naomi never said anything about that. Because she's embarrassed, and now she's convinced a baby will fix everything. Which almost never works, I added quietly. I still want to help them, Melissa said as Maya left. But you're right. We should have discussed it first. I'm sorry for how I handled it. It was the first apology, but it felt too little, too late. The tension in Naomi and Derek's living room was thick enough to cut. We sat facing them, 4 adults locked in an uncomfortable standoff. I don't understand why we're having this conversation, Naomi said, arms crossed. Everything's been decided. Has it? I challenged. Because it seems like you and Melissa made decisions that affect all 4 of us without proper consultation. Derek shifted uncomfortably. Onyx has a point, Naomi. You agreed to this, Naomi insisted. After weeks of arguments, Derek muttered. Melissa's eyes widened. You told me he was completely supportive. He is, Naomi said quickly. There were just some details to work out. Like the state of your marriage? I asked bluntly. The room went deadly quiet. It means we know about the counseling, Melissa said gently, and about Derek's involvement with someone else. That's behind us, Naomi snapped. This baby is our fresh start. A baby won't fix your marriage, I said, and using my wife as a surrogate while hiding these issues feels manipulative. You didn't think your marriage problems were relevant? I continued. You didn't think we deserved to know before Melissa agreed to carry your child? Our marriage is fine now, Derek said, though his tone lacked conviction. Is it? Melissa asked softly. Because bringing a baby into the situation will only make it more complicated. You're backing out, Naomi accused, voice trembling. After everything, you're abandoning me. No one's backing out yet, I clarified. We're trying to have an honest conversation. The kind we should have had from the beginning, Melissa added. Naomi stood abruptly. I can't believe this. I thought you were my friend, Melissa. I do understand, Melissa replied, but I also need to consider my marriage. So your marriage matters more than my chance to have a family? Naomi's voice rose. That's not fair, Derek interjected, surprising us all. Whose side are you on? Naomi demanded. There shouldn't be sides, he responded. We're supposed to be friends. Yes, we had problems, Naomi admitted defensively. Yes, Derek messed up, but we're committed to working through it. Are you? I looked at Derek. You don't seem enthusiastic about this baby plan. Derek looked at his wife, then back at us. I want what Naomi wants. I owe her that after what I did. A baby shouldn't be restitution, Melissa said softly. It's a person, not a Band-Aid. You don't get to judge our reasons, Naomi snapped. Just say it. You're backing out. I'm reconsidering, Melissa corrected, given new information. Information you had no right to seek out. You went behind my back. The way you went behind Onyx's back, Derek pointed out quietly. Naomi whirled on him. Shut up, you've done enough damage. The naked hostility in her voice made everyone flinch. I think we should leave, I said, standing up. Fine, run away, Naomi spat. But Melissa, if you back out now, our friendship is over. Naomi, please, let's just take a step back. No, I've waited long enough. I deserve this baby. And you promised to help me. A promise made without all the facts, I pointed out. Stay out of this, Onyx, Naomi hissed. This is between me and Melissa. No, it's not, Melissa said, rising to stand beside me. Onyx is my husband. His concerns matter to me. More than my happiness? More than your promise? That's what marriage is, Derek said unexpectedly. Choosing each other even when it's hard. Naomi turned to him, betrayal written across her face. You're taking their side? I'm tired of pretending, Derek sighed. Tired of pretending I'm okay with all this when I'm terrified it will just be one more thing that pulls us apart. You don't want this baby? Naomi's voice was barely audible. I want our marriage to be healthy first, he admitted, before we bring a child into it. Naomi grabbed a framed photo from the side table and hurled it against the wall. The glass shattered. Get out, she said through clenched teeth. All of you. In the car, Melissa whispered, I've never seen her like that. Now you understand why I've been so concerned, I said. This situation is explosive. What do we do now? We decide what's best for us. Not what's best for Naomi or Derek, just us. 2 weeks later, I stood in our bedroom packing my clothes. Melissa watched from the doorway. You don't have to do this, she pleaded. Yes, I do, I replied. You've made your choice clear. Despite everything, the deception, Naomi and Derek's unstable marriage, the doctor's warnings, Melissa had decided to proceed with the surrogacy. I promised her, she kept saying, I can't back out now. The point is that you're choosing Naomi over our marriage, I said. I'm not choosing anyone. It's temporary, Onyx. But the damage was done. The trust between us had been broken. The procedure is scheduled for tomorrow, Melissa said quietly. Will you come? I zipped the suitcase closed. No, I can't support this. So you're just walking away after 7 years? You walked away first, I replied, when you decided our partnership wasn't worth consulting. Jake arrived to help me move. Talk to him, Melissa begged. Jake shook his head. Some things can't be fixed with words. Where will you go? Melissa asked. Jake's spare room, then my own place. And then what? Divorce? I don't know, I admitted. I need time to think. 6 weeks later, Derek called. He looked terrible when we met, unshaven, exhausted. Naomi and I separated, he said. The procedure failed. Does Melissa know? Naomi told her yesterday. They're proceeding with a second attempt. I stared at him. Even though you've separated? Naomi still wants the baby. I came to say you were right to leave. I wish I'd had your courage. A week later, Melissa showed up at my door. I've canceled the procedure, she announced. I'm not going to be Naomi's surrogate. What changed your mind? Everything. The way she's been since you left. The things Derek told me. I was wrong, Onyx. I should have talked to you first. And Naomi? She accused me of betrayal. That's when I finally saw how manipulative she's always been. We're not friends anymore. I'm sorry. I know how much she meant to you. Not as much as you. Her eyes met mine. If you'll give me another chance. I don't know if that's possible, I said honestly. There's been too much damage. What about counseling? She suggested. Maybe, but I need to know, have you really changed? Or are you just reacting to losing both me and Naomi? I've been seeing a therapist. She's helping me understand why I was willing to sacrifice our marriage. After she left, I considered the possibilities. Could we rebuild? Or was it better to accept that some bridges can never be crossed again? Whatever came next, I had stood my ground when it mattered most. I had walked away rather than compromise my self-respect, and somehow that felt like its own kind of victory. So what would you do if you were me? Try to rebuild with someone who betrayed your trust, or accept that some damage can't be undone and move forward alone? The choice would be entirely mine to make.